For sport fishermen in the 1970s and 80s, the premier destination in the world was the shallow water flats of Florida and the Florida Keys. In this pristine environment of sparkling water, mangroves, and vibrant grass beds lived an abundance of bonefish, tarpon, and permit. For years, anglers enjoyed the seemingly endless bounty of Florida Bay and beyond. From the oceanside flats all the way to the southernmost edge of the Everglades, fish were plentiful and hungry, while habitats were pristine and prolific. Many of the guides that we know as legends today were still in the midst of proving themselves, while anglers traveled from far and wide to experience America's final frontier of premier saltwater angling. Then something changed. Anglers and guides began noticing fewer schools of fish, fewer small fish, and changes in flats habitats.
In the early 90s, a period of about 4 weeks, the guides in North Key Largo saw no bonefish for 3-4 weeks. And that was a game changer in changing at least my attitude and some of my friends into thinking something needs to be done, and is anybody doing it?
We knew very little, and people have asked me, what does very little mean? When you don't know where a fish spawns and where the babies grow up, I would say you don't know anything. That was where we started from, and how do you go about doing that? It was complex, and it took a lot of time.
Realizing how little was known about these species and their habitats, a small group of anglers, guides, and scientists came together in search of answers. Bonefish and Tarpon Trust, as it's known today, was formed in 1997 as Bonefish and Tarpon Unlimited. Its mission was and continues to be to protect and enhance the flats fisheries through research, education, and advocacy using science as a foundation.
If your ultimate goal is to either influence legislation or to restore the fishery, it needs to be more than I think. You have to document it, so it takes science. That's why we decided we had to be a science-based organization. And if you have the data, you can get it done, and we have. We've influenced regulations on fishing with data.
Initially, BTT developed programs to document fish populations, their habitats, their range of movement and migration, and spawning behavior. Collaborating first with the University of Miami, extensive tagging programs and collection of samples provided data that were useful in developing conservation strategies. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission was a key partner in making this happen.
Our partnership together has been wonderful and very productive. We have really done a lot of great work with regard to important species like bonefish, tarpon, and permit. And with your help, we've been able to bring these species forward and protect them more, move them toward catch and release, and fully realize the great economic value and ecological importance of these fisheries.
Early research efforts in the Florida Keys unveiled a larger, interconnected region. We expanded our science and conservation programs to span Florida, the Bahamas, Mexico, Belize, and Cuba. Collaborating scientists and partners in these locations are working to identify and protect important habitats and compile new knowledge critical to conservation of these species. The results have been significant. For example, in the Bahamas, this has led to the creation of 6 national parks where precious bonefish spawning sites are protected.
What BTT brought to BNT was actionable knowledge that we were able to immediately integrate into what we were doing to build an effective, representative national park system that we needed to protect an important part of our country's ecosystem.
Today, BTT continues to lead ambitious and exciting research, including exploring the means of reproducing bonefish in captivity as a potential restoration tool. However, equally important, BTT is advancing education and advocacy. Our scientific findings have been pivotal in helping to teach guides and anglers better ways to handle fish. And we continue to advocate on the front lines of critical campaigns such as the restoration of the Everglades, water quality protection, and championing the flats fishery across the Caribbean basin.
I've seen what we've done, I see what we're doing, and my sense of what we're going to do makes me feel very good.
Just as 20 years ago, science remains our North Star, guiding all that we do in pursuit of our mission. We exist, first and foremost, to conserve our valuable fishery. Even with the great progress made over the last 2 decades, much work remains. Together, with your active involvement and support, we will ensure healthy habitats and healthy fisheries for years to come.
Healthy habitats equal healthy fisheries. BTT.